And a pity when the majority of the population of America's 18th largest city refuses to work together and get with it. That's why we always say get bullshit. The majority of the population has to be fools if the minority rules. And in the Bluff City, the minority rules. And they do it with the subtle spirit of Boss Crump to keep the majority of the population in their designated place. The suits and ties disguise the lies that are told right to the majority of the population in the Bluff City's face. They say it's not about race. They say it's not about race. The obvious objective is to maintain power and control and to keep the social order systematically intact. The powerless ones that are being controlled just happens to be black, and that's a fact. But it's not about race. They say it's not about race. Based on numbers alone, the majority of the population should always be in a better or at least an equal political, social, and economic position, but that'll never happen in the Bluff City if the majority of the population's collective mentality is passive submission. That would never happen in the Bluff City if the majority of the population's collective mentality is passive submission. Self-determination and self-respect, that is something that comes from within. Black politics in the Bluff City, that is something that comes from white men. The end. But it's not about race. They say it's not about race. Harrington, Wharton, Lowry, the Fords, it does not matter whose administration or who sits on the council and the committee when the majority of the population in America's 18th largest city is politically immature.
Yes, sir.
Is socially unsure,
Yes, sir.
is economically insecure,
Yes, sir.
politically immature, socially unsure, economically insecure. Now if that's how it is, and damn it, that's how it is. And if Memphis is still called the Bluff City, then what we have is a case of the Bluff City blues, in the place where the you-know-who's choose to snooze, choose to lose. The you-know-who's choose to lose. Instead of exercising the power of numbers, the majority of the population in the Bluff City complains and expects change from a mayor that don't seem to care. But really it ain't the mayor. It's the chair that the mayor sits in that appeases the campaign contributing friends and other businessmen.
Come on.
That pattern follows a national trend.
Come on. Go ahead, brother.
How is it that the majority of the population in the Bluff City is black, but the black contractors bid on minority contracts? Where they do that at? I'll tell you where they do it at. How the young boys do it. In Memphis. Where the majority of the population will let anybody sell them on anything. Can somebody tell me what the hell is a One Memphis campaign?
Come on.
How can it truly be a One Memphis when the minority of the population controls and conserves the majority of the wealth? And another thing, how is it there's a whole damn floor missing out the parking garage at the FedEx Forum and ain't nobody got charged with theft? You got to be able to see that shit for yourself, excuse me.
Come on, bro.
Because if you don't,
Wow.
you destined to lose.
Wow.
And whether you're aware of it or not, you got a case of the Bluff City blues in the place where the you-know-who's choose to snooze, choose to lose. The you-know-who's choose to lose. There is nothing new under the sun, except for what you don't know. That's why gang activity in the Bluff City didn't get popular until the authentic gang members migrated from up north and out from the West Coast. And them Bluff City children still ain't realized they the victims of a social engineering joke. Put the rope around your own throat and choke. Now if that ain't the okie doke.
Come on.
They used to hang black men on poplar trees Now black men hang themselves at 201 Poplar Street. They used to hang black men on poplar trees. Now black men hang themselves at 201 Poplar Street. Copping pleas to them felonies with probation. It'll put your feet back on the street, but it creates obstacles when you're seeking the occupation. Now couple that with a lack of education, a lack of discipline, and a lack of patience, now you're reconsidering criminal participation. But that increases the chances of your probation being in violation. And that's a direct road to privatized incarceration. And nigga, that's slavery.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Check out the 13th Amendment to this Constitution. It says something to the effect that slavery has been abolished unless you have been duly convicted of a felony. These dudes ain't no idiots. They just some damn fools. They're not intentionally trying to lose. They just suffer from a critically undiagnosed case of the Bluff City Blues. In the place where the you-know-who's choose to snooze. The you-know-who's choose to snooze.
Come on, brother.
At one point, they came with Operation Jump and Grab. Then at another point, they came with Operation Blue Crush. Then they came with the Sky Cop units all over the city and the new mobile command unit trucks. Then we found out they was cooking the books downtown. With all that, the crime statistic rates are still up. The Bluff City Blues done got so thick to the point where the ones that sworn to catch the so-called criminals, they consistently getting caught committing crimes.
Yes, sir.
I don't even know if that's the Bluff City Blues, cause that's been happening all the time. The crook throwing the book
Yes, sir.
at the crook.
Yes, sir.
Well, damn. The crook throwing the book at the crook. Yeah, man, I heard the police let them boys go last night. Yeah, but I heard they dope and money got took. The crook throwing the book
Tell the truth.
at the crook. Lord, y'all, what are we gonna do? It look like the boys in blue. They mess around and got a case of the Bluff City Blues too. They messed around and got a case of the Bluff City Blues too. The executioner set up a case of black Democrat with hand and sack attack, better known as Tennessee Walks. I feel like I said that kind of fast. I'm gonna say it again for you. The execution of the setup and catch, the black Democrat with the hand in the sack attack, better known as Tennessee Walks, was symbolic of Tennessee's conservative Republicans burning the cross. And they burnt the cross in Shelby County front yard. Y'all do know Shelby County was considered a black Democratic stronghold.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And those conservative Tennessee Republicans deemed it necessary to neutralize that situation, and they acted accordingly. A classic example of the master criminal projecting upon the subjected criminal that which he denies in himself. And I ain't trying to make no excuses. Them black elected officials knew right from wrong. It's just that they've been doing what they've been doing so damn long. They had no idea that they could possibly lose. But meritorious manumission gave them a case of the Bluff City Blues. Come on. Meritorious manumission gave them a case of the Bluff City Blues. In the place where the you-know-who's choose to snooze, choose to lose. The you-know-who choose to lose. Unified District, Memphis City, Shelby County Schools, all that shit, ain't nothing but Bluff City Blues.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I guess that's not about race. Well, that's about race and money. Yeah. What I'm trying to say is, whether you laying on the ground in the heart of the ghetto or standing on the top floor of City Hall, if you are of the majority of the population in Memphis, Tennessee, then the Bluff City Blues is relevant to all y'all. Pimps, hoes, hustlers, thieves, corporate, suburbanites, lawyer, employees, and wannabes. From the flawed halls of justice to the so-called 1,000 houses of praise. The majority of the population in the Bluff City, at a fundamental stage, still function as slaves.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's a strong accusation, but it's true, brother. You tell me in what area of activity, in what organization, in what system, in what institution is the majority of the population in the Bluff City controlled and dominated? I will let that.
None.
See, when you exert your collective energy, talents, and resources to enrich and fortify the collective wealth and stability of somebody that you view as superior to yourself, that is an undeniable display of self-negating behavior of the inferiority complex kind. Actions are influenced by speech. Speech is preceded by perceptions in your mind. As a man thinketh, so is he. It's a shame and a pity when the majority of the population in America's 18th largest city continuously refuses to work together and get with it. That's why we always end up getting bullshitted. The majority of the population has got to be damn fools if the minority rules. And in the Bluff City, the minority rules. And they do it with the subtle spirit of boss crump to keep the majority of the population in their designated place. The suits and ties disguise the lies that are told right to the majority of the population in the Bluff City's face. And you let them tell you that it ain't about race. You live in here 365 days a year. You see what's happening. You're a victim of it. And you let them tell you it's not about race. You got to be green as a pool table and twice as fucking square. With eyes and ears, and let them tell you that it's not about race. The Bluff City Blues is a developed mindset, continuously responding and reacting to a consistently self-refining local, global, and national system of injustice. It's the Bluff City Blues. I am being pressured very vigorously by this young man to do a piece. I really want to do another.